So I will say for the revenue report and the expenditure report that were provided in printed copy, because I find going through this again, they are balanced. That they both tie back to my trial balance, which we'll use for the DOE 25s, unless an unexpected, true valid account payable in shows up. These are the final numbers.
Okay.
On both of those. And then when we move to the fund balance, it's a lot different than May, and we'll say that I had over anticipated revenue, just didn't get in what we had fully estimated. But we also had over encumbered funds through payroll and AP.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the last piece was more detail if you want to, but there were for encumbrances 1,000 up at the top that I should have carried through this the whole time. So that was another for the 1,000. So
Got it.
All right.
now, basically, our revenues and expenditures for the year are quite close to about 5,000 more quite in revenue than expenditure. So we're basically back to last year's total unassigned balance, ending fund balance, plus 5, and we're sitting at 348 at the end of this year. Do have one more article that was voted in March that is to be funded from balance for 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves us 298, 188.52, and we can retain up 2.5% of the net assessment, which is 175,918 out of 290, and the balance will be returned for taxes.
Or given to the
So-
playground, right?
So, and the will
Not to me.
the board is authorized to retain up 5%. The minutes of that meeting, when it was discussed, a school board member had said that it authorizes the board to retain up to 5%, but the board will go over 2.5%. And I believe the word never was.
And the rationale for us in that direction wasn't necessarily the fact that we carry more money over. It was because it was less restrictive in the ability for the board to spend funds.
Changing the rule.
Yeah.
have to ask.
Prior to that, we were under the old the 2.5, where we would have to petition the Department of Education for emergency purpose, and they would approve it. Under the new rule that allowed percent, the board could hold a hearing and expend those funds as they saw it.
So that's what we would like to
So
do.
we can hold the 175 and we can utilize that money.
Okay.
And I'm the one that said we would not do, and really was because of the wording and the question came up at the deliberative session. And Madison said, well, the language was delivered, or the attorney at the time, the language was delivered from the DOE for the warrant article at 5%. Any intent of the warrant article could have changed it. That's why we've been holding the 1%. We would never carry that over with our intention to get the change that we didn't have to go through the revenues and Department of Education to approve that. That's what we were looking to do. So,
As far as the HVAC
yes.
monies, on budget, how's that looking as far as,
We're slightly under.
Really?
because that was a concern.
We're still taking out of the P4. I mean, out of
Yeah,
capital
we're still
reserve.
slightly under budget for the funding.
Don's done some great.
Right.
Wow,
We can,
that's
right. So we're under one.
Okay.
So that's what we'll have to pull from the building capital reserve.
There was a question at one point if we were more than
Potentially, but it sounds like better than it did.
You can't pull out of that analysis instead of tapping into the capital reserve fund. It's a question. I just don't know.
we can.
We were expending that, and we did go over budget for that. It's just a question. I don't
Yeah, I think
understand
you just
those
want to be
things.
careful with that, because you have to ask for that money back. Because it's one of those situations where you need to have a capital, you need to have a plan.
Right.
So I think that we can discuss it, but I'm just hesitant to.
Because so it's undesignated funds, which we could use, but then you'd have to, how would you do that? You open a PO and fund it from a different source? It just sounds,
I would have to buy that truly.
so I'm fine pulling it from the unreserved fund balance, from the capital reserve account for the building, because we have the extra 50 plus the 50 in the passed. So we had 100,000 that passed in total. 50 was from unreserved fund.
Yes, but
balance.
you're saying you didn't plan on the project, and so that all those other projects that we had planned, there may not be enough funds to do
Right.
that.
But it's gonna play catch up on those.
We're gonna have to, and we're, yeah, I mean, I would stay plan where we have money in in the accounts to match what we need for the CIP, because
Right.
we're gonna be asking for it back. I mean, we know there's big monies
That's gonna
big
be
projects that are
And
coming.
the budget committee always said, you have a capital,
Yeah, yeah.
these capital funds if you don't use
If you
them.
don't use them.
So, I mean, I know it's gonna
And-
probably cut us a little short on those funds in case something does blow up,
Yeah.
but
But I think aligning it
use the
with,
thing.
I think we've spent a lot of hard work building out that CIP plan
Mm-hmm.
too, so to stay in line with that is important.
So we can retain 175, 918, 28. We can allocate money for playground.
Okay,
And then we could hold a public hearing
okay.
to expend that money. Now, I know we do have $50,000 in the budget
Correct.
for the playground already.
next year.
Yes, well, the year we're in now.
Right.
Budget. So,
And-
and the total cost was 148.
One
right?
You have it.
fifty.
I have it,
gave
don't
you
I?
that quote.
So we need $100,000.
Roughly $100,000.
What was Warren, was it Warren? Article?
Jim, it's right on that top, I think, right by your,
156, 173,
Yeah.
val pricing through 2023.
Mm.
Well, on top, there are multiple numbers here, Heather.
We'll pick the biggest one. and that's-
147, 380 is playground equipment, Play World equipment, and then let's count equipment installation. So we're not doing equipment installation?
We were going to install, I mean, you and you
Community build.
and you
Yeah,
and
sure.
you
Right, that
and
would
me
cut
and
it down
you.
to
and-
28,000.
Right, that's,
But we were all, I know, the idea was we'd have a nice crew of people to
So
get
what was
together
Warren
with them
Article 7?
directing us.
that was from the unreserved fund balance for the building capital reserve.
Okay.
To help catch that up.
Yeah, well, of course I will.
So,
I'll make you please. Yes, I'm
What's
making
that?
theirs to observe us. Okay.
so Heather, what number is,
I would say the 156. I don't know why it says pricing through, because you see on top it's dated March 14th. So maybe the guy just didn't change it.
got it.
24.
But I would say the 156, 173.
Got it. But equipment installation wouldn't be needed of 27,000. So we can hold up to 100 for this project. We can allocate up to 100 for this project if we want to.
Okay.
In September, we can have a final quote and number,
Okay.
and then hold a public hearing in October.
If you read the little stars there,
Yes.
if community build installation fee above eliminated and community build fee sums to 5660. So you could take about 20,000 off of that.
Okay. So 20, because you
So then-
still need some materials or whatever.
Right.
But you'll also, right, you'll need a little bit of site
I
work and
wanna
stuff.
lock this down right now, though. I wanna, if this, as soon as we can. So, can we,
So what are you proposing?
I don't know.
So we need an accurate number
Right.
that we can approve. And then once we approve an accurate number, then we can have a public hearing
In
to.
September. Can we have a public hearing?
We can push for September.
I would, just from where I sit, I mean, I wanna be,
Don't be a
I know,
Debbie Downer,
I know,
Mike,
but I
come
am in full, support of this program. I think when we're looking at our set aside, that money should be, because schools don't have savings account. We don't have, so it's important, if something happens, that we have that, if something happens with the HVAC, something happens with a fuel line, something, we need that money because it's unbudgeted expenses. So I think if we did something where we had an accurate number in September and held a public hearing in October, based on the information I have now, if we're trying to build this, are we trying to build this fall?
I would love that.
I mean,
to
I
happen.
think having an understanding of the lead time of this equipment is
Right,
also important, because if
right.
we don't have to, if we're not gonna get the equipment until April anyways, I think waiting till
Fair.
October is fine. I think it gives us a better picture of what our year could look like. So
Right,
if
what's
it's
the
gonna,
turnaround?
if this is gonna impact a build that could potentially happen in November, I would be open to, reevaluating that. But I
Okay.
think having an understanding of how far out this equipment
Right.
is,
I'll call tomorrow.
would be important.
Okay.
So the other thing is,
Yeah.
if the school district's paying, we do need to bid it.
Correct.
Or you need to get 3 quotes, or you
Right.
can put it out to bid. What's not included in that is shipping, because shipping can't be included until we are ready to order, because all the rates are fluctuating.
Okay, so I will call tomorrow and get an accurate, and
Okay.
then come back.
Send that.
I'll hold a special meeting.
You won't. You can try, but we can if we need to. So what is your thought? I mean,
Like money wise?
well, money-wise, I think I'm okay putting the $100,000 up,
Okay.
the $50,000 out of the budget.
Right.
I'm okay with that. Mike wants to lead on the side of caution a little bit, by a month. If we want to try to jump forward, we can do that as well. But it's the decision here that
Right.
basically moves it out. So a motion will take it any which way.
I just am afraid that when I call, they're gonna say we need more money too.
The
The quote was
quote-
for what, till
till the end of this year, but it's the shipping that will be the,
the next year?
yeah. He says the updated information, the only wild is still shipping, which is always fluctuating.
Did he give you any?
Is being in there at all? Like with a 10% buffer?
Shipping of equipment's 3210,
Okay, so there is a number.
so if you use that as a base.
As a base, it could go up or down 10,
All right,
15%.
so it's not like it's 25,000.
Right, that-
10 or 15 grand.
It says it's valid for 30 days. So the quote is no longer valid, so.
It
Right.
could be
That's what
5
I'm
grand.
a little nervous about.
Right, but it's
Yeah.
not, we're talking
So-
20 different.
Right.
This is,
How would
sorry.
you bid this out?
It's
They're all gonna be
utility.
unique.
They're all
Right.
going to be unique in their own way. I
Ultiplay.
mean, just the two that are here, unique.
I mean, we could find a couple other companies and submit, that's basically what we'd end up doing. We'd solicit the bids.
Is that the final?
There are pictures in both of these.
It was in 2 annual reports ago. The back cover
Yeah.
was the whole artist sketch up of the whole playground.
I mean, because we went through this process in Freedom for a playground, so I mean, we can reach out to the same, some other companies as well and see if they can match that price or.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, so make a motion to set aside.
Okay, so so Heather, how do you need this?
I need the board to say what they're going to set aside.
Got it. So
Everything else will go
a
as
motion
needed.
to, I guess the motion would be to fund Article 7 from unreserved fund
Okay.
balance of $50,000.
Okay.
Motion by
Thank
Ed,
you.
second by Jeremy.
Yes,
Any other discussion there?
no,
Seeing none, all in favor? Aye.
thank you for
Carries.
everybody for helping.
Question for you. So that goes into the capital reserve?
The building
Capital reserve.
capital
So
reserve.
if something happened out there and needed it, we would be able to use that for said project.
If something, I mean, technically, yes, but that's also going to impact our CIP plan.
Right.
Because we're looking at building, we know,
No, yeah.
things are coming down the line, so
Right.
we're trying to
But
put
if something
money
went
in.
hinky with what's going on
It's going to
right
throw our
now,
whole CIP
Right, but
plan
this is,
off,
right, this would be money available if needed
Yeah.
for said
Correct,
project.
we could pull from that,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
I-
Yep, good.
all right.
I think that's one of
So-
the options, yeah.
So then,
110, I'm gonna ask for.
the next motion would be to set aside in the 2.5% reserve account, $175,918.28. Motion by Ed, second by Jeremy. All in favor? Aye. Next would be a motion to allocate up to
110
$110,000 for the
playground.
playground to come from the 2.5% set aside.
Just a question,
Yes.
would that then move into this year's budget line? Where we have 50,000 now?
The 110 that you're talking about?
Yes.
It gives you the authority to spend beyond your budget of 110,000. and it'll be funded from the set aside.
So it won't be in the line.
Will it be?
You don't need to make a motion on, I mean, you can,
Yeah.
but I think you're gonna hold a public hearing anyway,
Right.
so.
That'll get me to the next
You
one.
reserving the 2.5% now still gives you the board the authority to
Do what
now
we
do
want
what you
with
want
Okay.
Got it.
later.
Okay.
So I would, this is just my,
Okay.
my
Don't
advice
burst
to
my
the board.
bubble.
No, I'm with you, but I think having an accurate number is gonna be important
Right.
in looking at those bids, so I would maybe wait until you get those, because you've already done it, you've already, well, assuming the board approves that, you've already set up your money.
Okay, so we can do it as a motion?
But you're looking for the board to commit use
Correct, $110,000.
of that set aside.
Up
Right.
to.
Too, right.
And the reason I caution is because you have to hold a public hearing anyways,
Right.
and to give the public a fair, to come out and
Shake on that
support, or
number.
I feel, that's just something I would caution.
Right.
But the
Well,
board can,
right, I just said that because I feel like.
So let me back
Right, I
that
could be
down
wrong,
before,
so
let me
maybe-
back that down for a second. So then Sarah, I think, would like to make a motion to hold a public hearing
Correct, thank you, Joe.
on use of the 2.5% set aside for the purpose of playgrounds.
Yes,
But it would be more than 2.5, because you're retaining your 175,000
Right,
plus your estimated, whatever.
well, that's
Your
already in the
extra
budget,
That's,
so it'd be just utilizing extra from the 2.5%.
50's already there.
Right, but it's, yeah, it's a.
And we
it's
could list
named
out
2.5%,
when we do
It's gonna
the-
be more than 2.5%.
The fund?
yes.
No, we're only holding 175, which is 2.5%.
That's your 2.5.
That's our 2.5%.
Okay, so we're gonna turn back this 122? And we're gonna,
Yes.
so you're only gonna have
Yes.
65 in there?
Correct.
Okay. That was not the way I was interpreting.
Okay, I'm sorry. So what were you thinking? Let's back up, make sure we're all,
We were, the town back $12,000.
Oh, no, no.
oh, and hold another 10,000, another 100,000 from there.
Yes.
I know that,
You're gonna have a really
we
nice
can
plan.
only, well, like I said, you could withhold more than 2.5, but we're not going. We said we wouldn't, so we can only hold.
Just misinterpreted it.
Okay,
don't need to.
Right, I see what you're saying, Ed, though, okay.
right, so I see what you were thinking.
Right.
That was gonna sit there, and then we're going to pull 100 from
Right.
here for that.
Okay.
But are you okay with where we're at?
I'm gonna defer to everybody else. I don't think 65,000 is gonna cover very much.
In the,
personally.
and
I
that's
guess I'm
where,
with
that's where
Mike, I
Mike,
understand
that,
that.
that's now
Yeah.
where Mike is coming from
I
saying.
gotcha, yeah.
But historically, how many times do we tap into that 2.5?
We
And
never
what have we
have.
tapped?
We also had capital.
You did once,
Right.
you did once in fiscal year 23, that was under the encouragement to spend money, and it was on the alarm system, I
Right.
think,
Yes, that's right, we pulled some out of it.
like 45
For
or
the,
something.
because we didn't get the security grant that we thought we were gonna get.
That's why I think that if we can push it till, get the number for September, wait till, I know, I get it, and I support this, but I wanna do it, I just wanna do it on, an error on the side of
I just,
caution.
we're so close, I just don't
I
want.
understand, I totally
It's been-
understand.
So, are any of us backing down?
No.
I think,
No, I know that.
I think there's enough steam to get this done. I think the questions you need to ask when you call these people is, if I ordered it
Tomorrow.
September 10th, no,
Right.
because it's never gonna be before that.
Right.
If I ordered it September 10th,
Yep,
how soon could it physically be on the ground here?
Right.
okay.
Because we live in northern New Hampshire, so we
Right.
can get frost early and then you're not gonna be digging
Right. Well,
and
they know.
pouring.
Right.
So then it's not gonna be until the spring anyways. What do you think the changes in shipping would be between September and October if I ordered it in October?
Okay.
And it's just asking those questions as to when it can be
Right.
here.
And if they give you an answer that we think can get a community build in time, we can post for a public hearing, I need 10 days.
Right.
Okay.
So if 7?
Seven.
Oh,
Seven
look
clear
at me, I
days.
always go for, going above and beyond, I guess, an extra 3-day day. But,
Yeah.
so, I mean, if you let me know, we could always add it to the agenda.
Okay.
And I think the other thing is we gotta figure out when the space is available to work.
Right.
So we can't order till September, not 10th at least. That's our next
Well,
meeting.
it's not gonna come tomorrow.
Well, no, I understand, but how is the community going to build it when school's still in session?
on a Saturday.
And there are lots of times when we just may not use the
Okay.
playground area while it's
We'll be
being
fine.
built.
Right, and I'm
It's
being the
fine.
devil's advocate for all sides of the tale of
Because you're gonna
saying,
be there with your hammer, just saying.
sure.
So lots to do.
Right, but I'm just, so, find out how soon, once an order goes in, it can be shipped.
I will, I'm gonna call them first thing tomorrow.
And then let me know.
Okay.
If-
Like the lead time or
If,
whatever.
if they say, you know, you order it tomorrow, we can ship it in a week,
Right,
okay,
Then
maybe
let's
we can
go.
do September and move it
Okay.
forward and get it done.
does that sound
Um,
okay to you, girls? What are you thinking?
Thoughts?
Wait, oh,
Yeah, I'm welcoming them.
thank you. No, I'm just excited to get some forward momentum. My daughter's going into third grade, and we started this project in kindergarten. So, and we've only gotten swings. So I just don't want another hurdle. It's like a catch-22. What comes first? You need the amount, and that's kind of chasing a changing number. So I'm excited that we're moving forward. It sounds like we're gonna have some dates.
Yeah.
So if we can, is September and possibly October
Right.
is a thing, I'm excited. I'll bring the troops, we'll get it built.
All right.
That's
Perfect.
right.
You got that on camera? She'll bring the troops and get it built? I
got it.
heard that. All right, I'm not one of her troops, so I guess I got out of it. Thanks.
You're not out of it. You're not out
Okay,
of
so,
anything.
go ahead, Janet.
How many motions did you guys just?
There were-
Table them, you did.
There were none, so there were none in process other than Sarah's to hold a motion for the board to hold a public hearing to expend.
So the motion to hold the to fund Article 7, is that valid or not valid?
That is valid and that is approved.
And then there's no other motion yet, other than we're gonna hold a public hearing?
So do you have a motion in there to set aside the 2.5% of 175?
Sarah would like to make a motion to use the 2.5%, but I don't have anybody who.
You didn't have any motion to set aside 175,000?
I did not, that's the one
Okay.
I'm missing. I know
So
I was missing
let's
one.
get that one back on
To
record.
set aside
So,
175,000?
Motion to set aside $175,918.28 to the 2.5%
Emergency fund.
emergency contingency fund, thank you. And I'll take a motion for that. Motion by Jeremy, second by Ed. Any other discussion there? Seeing none? All in favor? Aye. Okay, that carries. Thank you. And then Sarah wants to move that we have a public hearing to expend from the 2.5% for the purpose of playground equipment.
With no amount.
With no amount as of yet.
And that'll be after the September meeting,
That'll be,
or the same day.
it could be the September meeting, yes. If we have all the numbers in line and that works
We'll have them, but
I mean, that will be noticed for that day.
for that day, yes.
And
Or
who
could
seconded
we-
this one?
I'll second.
can we set the public hearing for that day
Yeah,
now?
do it right
Okay.
now.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, carries. So we'll set it for that day.
Sure.
Sarah's gonna
And
get
this is for
everything for us
October.
tomorrow.
I will get everything.
September.
For September.
September 9th, the board meeting? Is that
Yes.
what you're going?
And then
Would we just recess our meeting?
we'll set it
So you put
at
it on the
7 o'clock
agenda,
in the
right.
middle, have the public hearing, and then we can, you know, the nice thing about that, Mike, it still helps you as well. If we still see things coming, we can have the public hearing and then just vote not to expend it until.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect,
No, I think
thank you.
that makes a lot of
Okay,
sense.
thank you. What's the date of our meeting?
You should know
Okay,
that.
thanks.
September 9th, that was in my report, Sarah, you weren't listening.
You probably have it from
All right. Just taking you like in a full.
No, so budget timeline, I
Yeah.
did not do it.
Okay.
So if I could table that till September.
Yes.
That's fine. We don't need do we need a fully
Do you-
prescribed timeline?
I want the
It's always
DRA's
the same.
timeline
Yeah.
March that says this is when everything's due, and I work backwards because recipe 2, and give you the dates we have to get things done.
Perfect, that
How
sounds
we
good to
get
me.
there, I think, is entirely up to us.
Dates that are very important to have out there is the last day for a collective bargaining agreement to be agreed upon,
Okay.
please. And last day for warrant articles. Those are the two that we get questioned all the time, so if they're up front, they're there.
Last day to appoint school board members, is anybody leaving?
Yeah, is anybody leaving so we know?
Sherry's
Sherry will be, right, will be up.
Up.
And are you up this year or
I
no,
was
me?
last year.
No.
Me and you are together, I think.
Right.
We're
Alright.
together.
We'll figure out who else, somebody else is. It is, I know.
Is it me? No, it's
No.
I think it's Gemini.
All right. Thank you.
That's it.
Maybe we'll
All
come
right.
against each other again.
Transportation update.
Transportation update. So as you know, we're, our, Tim's contract was picked up by Butler Transportation. So, the manager, Emo, has reached out to Heather and myself. We have bus routes that we'll present later in the, under new business. But I just wanted to share that, you know, we have communication there. So far, so good. And, the rubber will hit the road, no pun intended, this fall. So we're all
Those
systems go.
dad jokes down.
I know, I couldn't help myself. So that's, any other questions on transportation? Obviously, you'll see the bus routes,
Are
but
they doing special ed transportation?
Tim has been doing it this summer with ESY. As it stands, he was helping out, but I believe Butler's gonna pick that up.
Okay, good.
So they're gonna take the whole.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Do you know if we're still gonna have to fill out the form for the late buses? Yeah.
That's a great question. I will bring that up to Butler about that. That was something that Tim had done on his end because of staffing concerns. But I
Cause I don't even see I mean, do they put late buses on the routes or no?
no, typically
Okay.
not. That was more as we were the impetus for that was basically bringing buses back and forth without kids on them. So
Right.
just to make sure we weren't sending a bus out to the high school for no reason.
Right.
So I will ask, or maybe you ask.
And I
there
think the
won't be a
bus
sign
route
up.
for the late bus is very
Right.
limited. They come down
Right, they just run through the middle of
113
town.
to the
There's
post
one,
office and that's
right,
it,
usually.
I think.
Right? I don't know, my kid never talks.
Well, I'll just ask him what the late bus schedule looks like.
Yeah.
Right?
All right, school district
Actually, Ian probably felt that.
goals on 820.
Yes, so that was, that must be Carol's note to herself. So we had school district goals last year at this time. Basically, I just wanted to share with the board our goals moving into this coming school year. We have our administrative retreat Wednesday and Thursday of this week. So we'll be doing a lot of team building, planning for the year with these three ladies, Jen, the other principals in the other districts in Tamworth and Freedom, and some other players at the SAU. So I thought it was important to share just my vision for the upcoming year. Basically, my school theme, or district SAU theme is back to basics. We're really going to be focusing on literacy, mathematics, and to Heather's point, MTSS and intervention. So looking at how we can support our students from an academic standpoint, I think we've done a really outstanding job over the past few years, really working hard on social and emotional development, which is really important. But I really want to kind of have the pendulum swing back towards the academic side of things, and not to say we haven't been doing that, but really take a focused look at that. I believe you can do 2 to 3 things really well, and if you try to do more than that, you really water down what your goals are. So that's my my charge, and we'll be talking about what that looks like as far as implementing that and supporting our school theme and our opening day, our admin retreat. But wanted to share that with the board this evening, and if there's any goals, that you don't have to answer that right now, but if there's any goals or objectives that the board has for administration, I'd love to hear those, and if you don't have them this evening, don't feel like you're under, pressure to do that tonight, but if, as you think and want to share those in September or, at any point, let me know.
I have one goal, actually. I wanted to do more homework on this, and unfortunately I didn't get a chance, but I wanted to bring it up. Typing.
Mm-hmm.
My son started 7th grade last year, and everybody was ahead of him in typing.
Sure.
And I forget when they start typing here, maybe 3rd grade?
Yes.
Is it 3rd grade? But it's only for like 3rd grade.
No.
3rd and 4th.
And actually, I would say that Mrs. Flanagan starts with the younger kids too. They start just like basic home keys and stuff. She's got little sticker charts that they go through, but
But after third, fourth, they don't do it.
I'd have to verify with her, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think, at least from what my boys had stated, is they didn't do any type of typing. And I would love that to be a goal, because I think it's so important in the world that we live in now, and especially going into the middle school and being the one that's like,
Sure.
Is it thumb typing?
Yeah.
They all got that down.
yeah.
Right.
So I just, that's my one.
Sure. We can find out, we can get, a baseline to find out how that is, how it runs currently and, what that looks like, and then, figure out how we can support that in the curriculum. I think we can get some information about that.
And maybe where Conway starts and so that when they get there, they're at least matching or better. I'd like to say
Yeah.
better.
I know Harry, who was in kindergarten, he got to use the computers, and but I mean,
Yeah.
obviously.
Well,
he
they,
doesn't
yeah,
know.
when they're younger.
No.
They,
But
Right,
yeah.
And that's, I think, that's something, we talked a little bit about this, is back years ago, I mean,
We had
I remember
typing
I had to do it
class.
on a typewriter.
Right,
Like,
me
and,
too.
And you had, it was covered and you had to do
Right.
this. And it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I can do it, but it's
Yeah.
not 60 words a minute anymore.
Yeah.
yeah.
We can certainly look into that and find out what's, have a more detailed understanding of, what's being done currently. And then, as Heather alluded to earlier about MTSS, part of that is, intervention, but also on the other side of that, enrichment activities. So maybe that's something we can balance with kids too, to figure out, how to support,
Yeah.
find a place to support that way.
Right, it's,
Yeah.
you're right though.
A lot of it's
Because
memorization.
everyone- That's what they use. It's
Others?
computers. We don't write things.
I know.
Oh my God, Jackson's
All right,
already.
you got one for now.
Okay.
I'm sure you'll have
But
more.
we've got plenty, but if, as I said, as we move forward,
I'm shocked Sarah didn't love getting the playground in, but that's all right, we'll keep going. She didn't want it.
She didn't have to use words. She shot me a look that I knew exactly what she meant.
You know me so well now. Sorry, Mike, I really do like you.
I read your mind loud and clear, Sarah. I'm with you.
All right.
And then finally, back to school update. So as I said, we're really gearing up. It's August already. We're gearing up with preschool. We're gearing up with our administrative team. Retreat is happening. We've got new staff day that we'll have new staff from across the SAU supporting that work with my entire SAU team, and our building principals will be doing lunch with their new team members afterwards to build that camaraderie and rapport. And then we're doing our new our Welcome Back District Day on the 26th, which will be at Camp Robin Hood. We've got, aside from our usual welcome back speeches and rah-rah, we're going to have Brooklyn Rainey from One Trusted Adult do some work with us, and we're going to have the Adam Group do some cybersecurity work with us as well. So we've got kind of a mixture of some outside professional development and recognizing and kicking off our school year. So I'll make sure the board gets invited to that. You're obviously, you're busy, but you're more than welcome to join us for breakfast or lunch, or swing by and see what it's about. So we're very excited. So that'll be coming out shortly.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Any questions for Mike? Seeing none. Next is some things we do every year. And I think Mike Works used to say, why do we approve the bus routes? We have a vendor. But it's part of one of our policies, so we need to do it. So starting off, I will take a motion to approve the bus routes as presented. Motion by Sarah, second by Ed. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Carries. These will get sent to the paper, I guess. And if they could
Yeah.
post them with Mike's picture as well, it'd be nice.
Yeah, outstanding.
Next, we have the MES tuition. Didn't
That's not in there
Okay.
either. I didn't have the agenda till yesterday. I was working off of just doing
Sorry.
other, that's okay. I did do one, but I don't know how valid it is, cause I popped in Heather's number for enrollment that she just said was not super accurate.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna bring it up here.
Yeah, so part of the, while Heather's doing that, part of the issue is with our SIS, our student information system, and when transferring over, we don't have an updated count, and that's really what, Heather, I'm sure has a round, number, but if you want something more finite, you can wait till September.
Let's do it in September.
I say it's not much different than last year's, but
But yeah, no, I'm happy with an accurate number to approve next month. Substitute pay rates, so currently we are at $150 a day for a teacher. $20 for para and lunch personnel, $25 for custodian, and $20 for the office. Mike, do you see any reason to change those?
At this point, Madison's kind of the canary in the coal mine. We're the first one to approve these, so no other boards have changed any of these items. So at this point, I mean, I think we could, I think we
I
could
think
leave
it's a
them-
fair
leave them the
rate,
same.
right?
I don't know if, I mean,
I mean,
I'm not the one in the
I don't
building
know,
every day
but-
getting subs, so I would certainly, you know.
No, but you're gonna be in the kitchen
Yeah,
cooking.
apparently. So I don't know if Heather, if you have any input on how hard it is to find subs right now, given the compensation.
I'm sorry, because now I'm backtracking. Did
Yes,
you
it-
announce in public about the change to the food service position?
You did not.
I did not, thank you.
So that might take Janet by surprise. So in non-public, they voted to increase the food service position to 25 hours, which would be 0.6 FTE. It's in the email that I sent you with all the information.
Thank you
So-
for catching that, 'cause
It just
that
made
was
me
a
think,
big
because that would be
So-
one of those things if we're looking to try to attract somebody, because then that would qualify for prorated benefits.
That would be prorated benefits. So for the public out there, my mistake in missing that on the action results of non-public.
But if they
So it
don't
is
need them-
increasing it to a 0.6 position, which would allow it prorated benefits. Part of the problem finding someone for that position is that there's no benefits. It was under 4 hours a day, and trying to find somebody to fill that need for very little money with no benefit at all to it was very difficult. So the board made a decision to increase that to 0.6, which was just a minor increase in that, which would allow them some partial benefit.
And we've looked, and it's really difficult to find right now. So I guess, to Heather's point, and she teed me up for that pretty well, so thank you, Heather. As we're looking to find personnel to support Janet in the kitchen, that would be the only area that I think that we may want to look at, because we're going to be relying on subs in the interim. If we hopefully find someone that's the right fit, but if we don't, you know, that might be, that's the only concern I have right now, is probably lunch personnel.
And you guys will get that posted right away though, right?
Yes, we will.
And it was 5 hours a day?
We said 0.6, but I did say 5 hours a day. I said to make it
Okay.
25.
That makes sense.
And then they
Is
get
it-
partial
yeah,
benefits.
24 does it.
Yeah, so 5 hours a day.
Right.
Happy with that. So do you think increasing the lunch?
I would ask to go to 25. It's at 20, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's at 20
so I would
currently.
ask it to go to
To
25.
20 currently.
It's at 20, so yeah, I was thinking, yeah, somewhere between, honestly, 23 and 25, so you always spend more money than me, so there you go.
Wow.
The custodian rate is 25 for subbing, and you're right.
All right,
Part of being female.
So-
You're welcome.
board thoughts on?
Well, I think we should go 25 throughout.
For all hourly.
Correct.
Well, I was gonna say,
Right.
will the subline support that?
Yeah, we don't
Depends on
use.
how many subs.
We-
That's a big, I don't know, magic 8-ball sort of question.
We
Yeah.
rarely go through.
Historically, what do you
We
think?
rarely go through our subline, except for if we've gone through our subline when we've had like a maternity leave,
All right.
and then that's different. That,
Right, because you're pushing a long-term sub into the
Yeah.
sub. which
but
then
otherwise
breaks
we
the
don't.
sub.
We've cut back that line over the years to try to get it more in line with what we actually spend.
I'd say let's just do it all throughout, 25 for each.
So
Up to you. Are you making a
Is that a
motion?
motion?
I am.
Motion by Sarah to
Yes.
increase
So-
all the hourly staff
Yes,
to.
So paras, lunch, custodians, and office.
Are these
correct.
typically 6-hour days, 7, 8-hour days?
Each one's different. So custodian would be 8-hour days. Para, it's about a 6.5 hour day.
Office.
8-hour day. Kind of,
Your
sort
para.
of.
I'm just gonna bring this up. Now your office person is making $200 a day, and your para's making $150.
Because the hourly rate's
Well,
not that high.
your office making $200 a day, but your teacher's making $150.
That's what I mean.
Oh, you said para.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, your
Yeah.
teacher's
But yeah,
making
your
$150.
teachers are making.
But they're working more hours.
I'm good with whatever. I'm just,
I do think that we just, this is kind of, you know, a circular point.
Yeah.
Just to be careful of, you know, as we increase the sub rates, that
It's gonna,
it's gonna impact, you know, and granted, when our professional and our support staff, they have benefits and it's a benefits package,
Right.
which this position
Right.
wouldn't be
Right.
receiving.
I would be more comfortable, and let me do this first. Can I get a second for Sarah's motion?
Come on,
Somebody?
guys.
Anybody?
For
For
discussion.
what?
So,
I'm sorry.
just a second
To
for
raise
Sarah's
it to
motion to raise them all to
25 for
25,
each.
for discussion purposes. That way we can discuss deeper. I'll be fair enough, and I will second that.
Thanks,
Don't
Jeremy.
normally do, just to put it on the floor.
Thank you.
I'm more in favor of increasing the lunch and leaving the custodian the way it is. So lunch and custodian would be 25, leaving the other two at 20. I know we just upped the office. The office, I think, was.
Was
like
10.
$10
We
last
Word.
year.
recently.
So I
Isn't
mean,
that
we
awful?
doubled that last year. So it would leave the para and the office at 20, and the lunch and the custodian at 25.
Okay, well, I know where I'm
And I
gonna
think
sub.
if we have issues and we're still not finding people,
Right.
then they can always come back to us midstream and ask for more.
right, because we changed these
Okay.
in November last year.
Right.
Yes,
So my
Okay,
thought would
that's
be
fine.
to do that. So,
I agree.
And that's to just attract somebody to,
correct, to help in the kitchen, you know, what we
Yeah.
currently.
I'm just hesitant on the increasing anywhere else because.
Right.
That's like what he just said, yeah.
So,
Okay.
so the
We got-
motion on the floor is for $25 all the way around. I have a motion and a second. If you are in favor of going all of them for $25 an hour, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. That has failed. Sarah, would you like to make another motion?
Sure.
To increase the lunch personnel to $25?
Correct.
And leave all else the way it is
Yes.
currently.
well, I'll second that.
I got
Oh,
seconds
yeah.
across the room, Janet.
Yeah.
Take your pick. Ed.
Okay,
It's
so
the easiest one to
Sarah's
spell.
motion- Sarah motioned again,
And Ed
Since I
seconded
failed
it.
my first
then
motion.
Ed, and that is to just increase
The
the
lunch
lunch.
to 25.
And keep the rest the same.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? Carries. Good.
25, and it's unanimous.
Yes. All right,
All right, moving on.
so we are good.
Do we have to accept the rest? as stated?
Yeah, we should probably accept the whole thing.
Or accept it as
We'll accept it
revised.
as revised. So accept the whole sub pay rate as revised. $150 a day for the teachers, $20 for the paras, $25 for the lunch, $25 for the custodian, and $20 for the office. Motion by Ed, second by Jeremy. All in favor? Aye, carries. Good. Family handbook. It was an email link because it is quite long, and I did like the
The updates. that
the
we-
updates
Yes.
listed because it made it easy to just go find them. So I will take a motion to approve the family handbook.
Motion.
Motion by Jeremy, second by Ed. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Carries. Your staff handbook. Take a motion to approve the staff handbook.
Motion.
Motion by Jeremy, second by Ed. Any other discussion there? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Carries. Surplus equipment disposition. Was there a list in here?
I didn't
Heather?
see
'Cause
one.
I did not
There
see
was
one.
not, so there are only 2 items on the surplus list at this moment. There is a conference table that used to be in a staff room back when we had a staff room. We don't anymore. And that is 10 feet by 4 feet oval, if anybody wants a nice heavy one. It's available. It's usable, we don't have a space for it. We don't have, it's not a good use of the space
We
that we
wanna
have.
stick it in one of those
to-
2 sheds up there?
No.
Just wondering.
And then we have fabric, very heavy office chairs. We have 2 single ones, and then we have one that's 2 chairs, a little table attached. So those as well. Just they're well worn, is their condition. So we replaced them with the school board chairs that don't seem to get used anymore, but were purchased for the school board, the gray ones. So we moved those in instead.
Oh.
Wait a
What are the
minute.
school board chairs?
Yeah, they were
School board
cushioned
had special chairs.
We did?
They stop into the office. They're there.
They're the ones that are all around the office
Yeah.
seats, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Those were way before me. They were before me.
I make a motion, we get some new school board chairs. I'm kidding.
You don't like
The
your
more
wheelie ones?
comfortable the
kidding.
chairs, the longer the
I'm
meetings.
kidding. Our meetings are long enough.
So it's just those two items, and if you approve them, then we'll put them, follow the policy to put them up there
Yes.
for.
Motion to
anybody.
approve surplus.
Yes.
Motion.
Sherry and Sarah.
Yes.
Any other discussions? None. All in favor?
Aye.
Goodbye. Use of fund balance, we've already talked that one
Yeah.
down pretty good, so we're
Yeah.
moving
Should we
on.
discuss it a little more?
Nope,
Okay.
moving on. Accept bid of playground equipment, where Sarah's we're gonna
Yeah.
move that to
Continue that to
September. Schedule of inspection of an MES facility per policy FGA.
Is that prior to the meeting in
October-
September?
That is
Yes.
prior to the meeting in September.
So
That
what
works for
time-
5
How are we gonna have a public, oh, that's at 7. Okay, perfect.
Yep. 5 o'clock.
Yep.
5 o'clock, and you want, to Sarah's point, so we're gonna do the facilities walk at 5, and we'll post the public hearing for 7.
Thank you.
Old business, the Madison Corner Schoolhouse, they are moving forward. They've gotten some bids, some quotes on exterior siding, also utilizing local manpower to do the work. That's kind of where we're sitting right now. The committee is in play and doing a lot of work. I'm currently sitting on that committee. I've worked hard to get that up and running, but if there is a board member who would like to relieve me of my duties there, I would.
I think you do well on that board. I think I'm saying that you definitely should stay on that board.
Is there anybody who would entertain that?
No, I think, Jeremy, it suits
I'd be
you.
afraid to say yes, so I'm
Please
just gonna
don't
let you
say
stay.
yes.
All right, I will stay on it. If anyone feels compelled to
Thank you.
want to jump into there, time for me is becoming tighter and tighter every day as I get older and older. All right, if I die, it's on you, Sarah.
That's a lot.
I already have enough on me, Jim.
Now you have more. Anything else?
Motion adjourned?
Motion to adjourn by Ed.
Second.
Yay.
Second by Jeremy, 7:25. We are
This is
out.
good.
And we are
Thank you.
by far probably the best meeting Mike has to do.
Really?
Yeah.
In
That's pretty-